This telecast is copyrighted by the NCAA for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this telecast or any picture, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the NCAA consent is prohibited.
To them, the whole world looks like an opportunity. One to be seized, built upon, and made better for their sport and the people around it. To student athletes, every opportunity is a chance to change what could be and show the world what opportunity can do.
It is officially the month of March, and we all know what that means. It is officially March Madness season here in Oswego, New York. Welcome everyone to Game 1 coverage of 2 here in the NCAA tournament between the Williams Eafs and the DeSales Bulldogs here in the Marano Campus Center in Oswego, New York. Welcome everyone to the pregame show. My name is Alex Brooks. Alongside me is Kenny Gerard and Mike Neckers. And guys, I mean, we've mentioned it before, March Madness is finally here, and we got 2 big games. We got the Bulldogs versus Eafs, and then we have Oswego and Babson later coming up.
Well, they say February is the month of love and March is the month of heartbreak. It's March Madness time here in Oswego, New York, and all across the United States, from Division I all the way down to Division III. It's time to see some basketball play out, some brackets be shattered, and some names be written into the history book, Mike.
Absolutely. I think it's going to be a great 2 games today. I'm really excited to see what's to come.
Yeah, it's going to be very exciting, so we'll get straight into it. We will talk about both of these teams and their journey to where they are right now here in the round of 64. We will start off with DeSales. The Bulldogs, they finished their season with a 1-point loss against Stevens, guys, as we look at the full screen, 54-53 Stevens. Kenny, just take me through this championship game for DeSales. Not something you want to look for going into this NCAA tournament.
Well, yeah, DeSales came in, Mr. Rakodia, the number 4 team. They won 83-67. And you look here, Stevens narrowly winning that game, 35 from the field, 33 from DeSales, an uncharacteristic game from the Bulldogs. Rebound margin went the way of the Bulldogs, and turnovers dead even there, Brooks. It's a close game, and it's a championship game. We've seen it all across the country. All the championship games extremely close. And it was no different for the MAC Freedom. DeSales, the number 1 seed, falls just short to number 2. Stevens. And yeah, Mike, what are you seeing that I'm not?
I mean, I think you got to look at both these teams. Again, the 1 and the 2 seed, both very good seasons, a very even matchup going into this game, as you can see from the statistics. And there's nothing to frown about for a 24-3 record for the Bulldogs, so still a lot to be proud of.
Yeah, a lot to be proud of here, but we are going to flip it over to the Williams Eafs championship game in the NESCAC championship, 59-52 loss. Kenny, take me to this full screen for the Williams Championship. So both teams kind of losing here, coming in for something to play for.
Well, yeah, 3 of the 4 teams in our pod have lost their championships. The SUNYAC also for the Oswego team. The only team coming out with a win in their conference was Babson, which is coming up later. But now, yeah, Williams, 52-59 to Trinity College. Trinity College narrowly taking the win. If you look there, they didn't lead in a single stat, but the only column they led in is the points, Mike, and that's the one that's important. Trinity College pulls away the win, the number 2 seed, 59-52. Williams, though, taking the win against number 6 Amherst in the semifinals, 57-43. Mike just couldn't pull it off in the big game.
Absolutely, and I think you look at this, they have all the stats that they should have won this game, but those 15 turnovers, I think, are what really did it for them.
Yeah, those you can't be turning the ball over, especially prepping for a big March Madness tournament. Both of these teams are going to utilize those turnovers and try to get points off of them. But we are going to move over to the bracket. We are going to start off with the Oswego State bracket, starting off here as Oswego, the Oswego Lakers were awarded the home pod for today and tomorrow. So we'll take a look at that right now as we see the regional bracket here. We got Widener versus Roger Williams, Chris Newport versus Hobart. Chris Newport was the reigning national champions against Hobart. And then obviously we see the Oswego pod there, DeSales, Williams, Oswego, and Babson. So Kenny, just take me into your thoughts about, this regional tournament. Who are you kind of seeing now to really make some noise, especially either in Oswego or just in general here in the regional?
Well, you obviously want to look at the reigning champion, Christopher Newport. They're going in against Hobart, another excellent team. On the away pod, visiting up in Widener College. Widener, the top of this area right now. Widener looking great so far all year. As some would say, Brooks, they've been nasty all season long. They've been a dirty team. They've played great all year long. Widener absolutely deserving the top spot in this port. You look down now, DeSales and Williams, another great game. We've got Oswego State and Babson. Oswego State and Widener, two of the top dogs in the country, been ranked in the top 10 all year long. But Chris Newport not getting that host pod. Quite surprising for the national champion, Mike.
Absolutely, and I think that sticks out quite a bit. Christopher Newport coming off of that national championship to come here and not even have a home court advantage for a single game is something that I think could really affect them, and they're going up against Hobart. It's a very good team, so I think that'll be a very interesting game.
Yeah, a lot of different implications here. A lot of brackets that might be busted here in the NCAA tournament, here in the round of 64. Anything can really happen here in March. I mean, obviously you have the Oswego pod, but you also just have those other games. You have the reigning champion. Those teams can really make some noise here.
Yeah, I know, and we can take a look now at the expanded bracket and take a look around even more of this NCAA tournament. Plenty more teams around the country, and one team that stands out to me is Keene State. Keene State always been an electric team down near Oswego, could meet in the Elite Eight if any of these teams come out of this Oswego pod. Keene State, a team to fear, always a team to make a run up in the northeast of the United States. My eyes are set on Keene State here, Mike.
Absolutely, and I was looking earlier and I noticed John Carroll, number 2 in the country, is going up against New Paltz, who Oswego just lost to in the SUNYAC championship. So I think that's a really going to be a good game. Oswego obviously lost that game to New Paltz, maybe not what they wanted, but got a lot of season left for all of them. And then we also have Utica, Kenny.
Yeah, Utica, another team to watch. The Pioneers do a lot playing Trinity. Trinity, we just mentioned, won the championship game in their conference in the NESCAC against Williams. But yeah, another huge team to look for. Utica overall has been great at their sports this year, but Utica in basketball, been outstanding. A team you can see that can make a deep run in this tournament as well. Lots of teams there, Brooks, that I'm looking at that can make a huge run. And this is why we love March Madness. There's plenty of heartbreak and plenty of bracket busting to come.
Yeah, really a lot of storylines that can be made, and a lot of, obviously, elation and a lot of heartbreak here in March. But we are going to send it to break, but don't go anywhere because we will have more coverage of this NCAA tournament here in the round of 64 here in Oswego, New York. Don't go anywhere.
Say, President Stanley, whenever there's bad weather, who would you turn to?
I'd turn to Storm Team 10.
No,
right
but you've
here.
got to say it like this. Storm Team 10. Say it with me. Storm Team 10.
Roll it.
Jill told me it was Kitty from Glee. Yeah, what is it?
Al Roker.
And we are getting ready for this first matchup here in the NCAA tournament, round of 64, hosted by Oswego State, as we take you back in here to the Marano Campus Center on the Oswego State campus here for the pregame show. My name's Alex Brooks, Kenny Gerard, Mike Neckers, and guys, we obviously talked about, the brackets. We talked about how DeSales and Williams coming off of their championships loss. But let's take a look at the tail of the tape. Let's take a look at the comparison between both teams, what we have on tap for this matchup coming here as we look at the full screen coming up soon here. But Kenny, I'll ask you the question here. Between both teams, we obviously see the points per game in favor of DeSales, but I mean, the field goal percentage can be a little tight there. Give me your thoughts.
Well, I mean, the one thing that's really standing out to me, Brooks, is that conference record 14-0 for DeSales and 9-1 for Williams, both losing their conference championships, and two excellent records at 24-3 and 21-6. And yeah, the field goal percentage is close, but there's one thing about Williams that a lot of people overlook, and that's defense. Williams has been electric all year long on the defensive end of the court. Number 1 in three-point defense in the entire country, and number 9 for scoring defense overall. So that field goal percentage is a bit deceiving when you look at a team like Williams, while the DeSales points per game is in their advantage, Mike.
Absolutely, and I think both these teams, again, have a lot going for them, and then a couple things maybe here and there that they need to work on, but overall, I think it's just going to be a really good matchup.
And we are going to take a look at the category leaders for both teams. We got,
points,
assists, rebounds, and steals. So we'll start off with the points. Obviously for Williams, you got Alex Lee, and for the Bulldogs, Elijah Eberle. Kenny, take Alex Lee starting off.
Yeah, Alex Lee, 27 games played, 300 points and 11.1 points per game, a huge contributor to Williams and their run so far on the year. Mike, what do you got for Elijah?
Absolutely, and Elijah Eberle, same amount of games played, 27, a few more points than Alex Lee. Again, both great players, and 12.1 points per game. He is averaging the most on the team there, so that is a very big player for the Bulldogs, and they're definitely going to have to utilize him tonight.
Well, you can't really get much points if you don't have someone to give you the ball, so we'll move over to the assist leaders for both teams out here. Kenny, I'll have you start off with the Bulldogs here.
We look at a huge discrepancy in the assist total there. Mason Barnes, one less game played than Nate Karen. 123 assists on the year, 4.7 assists per game, really dishing the ball out. Unlike one NBA superstar that we all know and love, he ain't dishing like Kobe Bryant.
Oh yeah, and then we look over to Nate Karen. He's played one more game, maybe a little bit less productive, less assists on the season, less assists per game, but again, still an absolute baller out there. We've got two great guys who are going to be dishing the ball.
And he's a center.
Yeah,
and center.
I mean, speaking of centers, and speaking of people who can get down low and get those boards, we are going to move over to the rebounds leader for both teams. As you look, Nate Karen, he's the rebound leader. Kenny, talk to me about that.
Well, Nate Karen, 155 rebounds, 0.7 there, and 5.1 defensive goals a game. He's been great so far this year. Nate Karen as well leads his team in three-pointers as well as the rebound leader, leading in 3 statistics for Williams College. Nate Karen, an all-around baller for the Eves.
And as a big man, but we'll go over now to Caleb Giggs, who has 242 rebounds on the season, averaging 5.5 defensive rebounds and 3.4 offensive rebounds. That's second chance points right there, gentlemen. You don't see that very often.
Yeah, you don't really see that often, and we're going to move over to the steals leaders for both teams. I mean, obviously you're going to have to steal the ball to get some momentum, so I'll go with you, Mike. Talk to me about Mason Barnes being the steals leader.
Pretty simple. Mason Barnes, 49 steals on the season and averaging almost 2 per game. That's pretty impressive.
And still not ahead in the category, but Brandon Ruffley, 29 steals, 1.1 a game. A little bit of a discrepancy again, but Ruffley contributing for his team and stealing the ball away every game.
Yeah, stealing the ball away for every game, but we are going to introduce the strengths and weaknesses for both teams, but we're going to start off with some positives. So Kenny, I'll start you off. What do you have for the strengths for the Williams College Eves?
Well, their main strength has been defense all year long, ranked number 9 in D3 basketball for opponent points per game, 10.6 points per game off the turnover, and 8.7 steals to blocks per game. They are absolutely electric on the defensive end. As I said earlier, a couple of the stats they've been the top of the country for. Number 1 in D3 as well for three-point defense. They are absolutely the prime cut lockdowns on defense, Mike.
Yeah, and we look over to DeSales. Their biggest strength is their rebounds. Again, we talked about some of those guys, but they are ranked number 2 in the nation for D3 for rebounds, and with a rebound margin of 10.9 per game. So pretty impressive stuff there. And then we'll move on over to Williams' weaknesses, and that's going to have to be scoring. They are ranked 376th of 412, which is in the bottom 10% of D3 basketball, averaging only 65.5 points per game. Is it going to be enough? Is their defense going to be enough to make up for this lack of scoring? Only time will tell. Kenny, we got one more?
Yeah, DeSales' next weakness is their turnover margin. They rank 307 out of 412 in the bottom 25% of the country. A negative turnover margin, not something you see very often coming in to the NCAA tournament, but a minus 1.8 turnover margin. How are they going to fare against the East? Well, Williams, as we said earlier, they can get points off the turnover, and that may be their Achilles heel for DeSales.
Yeah, we see a lot of different strengths and weaknesses for both of these teams. So we are going to take a quick break, but don't go anywhere because we are going to have our players to watch and some predictions here for the NCAA Division III tournament coverage here in Oswego, New York. We'll be right back.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
Shine on that black.
Look at the bling. Do we got a diamond tester on? Yeah, that's getting bad. Yep.
10 out of 10 recommend on Yelp.
We're going to the playoffs. I can't believe I missed that. Every time I'm buzzed, I spend too much time on my phone. What? I should take your phone away. No. I'll call for a ride. Hey, why does my face look like that?
I'm playing with these new face filters.
Okay, you know what? Yep, that's mine. I'm gonna need that back. No. Kevin!
And we are so close to tip-off of this Game 1 between Williams and DeSales. But guys, let's just fly through this. We are going to talk about our players to watch. So Kenny, start us off with the Eves. What's your play to watch?
Well, it feels like a no-brainer. The center, number 10, Nate Karen, the senior for the Eves, leads his team in three-pointers at 46. As a center, 40.2% from the field and 38.7 three-point percentage. Karen, all-around a contributor for his team, leading in multiple stats for the Eves.
And we'll move on over now to Brandon Ruffley, my player to watch for Williams. He scored double-digit points in 9 straight games, leads the team in steals with 29 on the season, and is 79.5% from the free throw line, which is 8th on the team. They're pretty darn good from the line. We'll move on now to my player to watch for DeSales, Elijah Eberly, senior. Leads the team in scoring with 326 points, averaging 12.1 points per game and 24 blocks. That puts him 2nd on the team.
And for DeSales, give me the guard, number 11, Jordan Holmquist, leads his team in three-pointers at 54, a 45.6% from the field. Number 7 on his team, which is a wild stat to me that there are 6 other guys ahead of him on his team, and a 44.3% percentage from beyond the arc. A great stat for him as well. The team has been great shooting from beyond the arc. But Holmquist, just better than the rest so far.
Yeah, and 4 guys that are wanting to make an impact for both of these teams, trying to advance into the round of 32. But we're going to quickly fly through this. We're going to go with the predictions. Kenny, start us off.
I don't know, man. The DeSales Bulldogs, they've been barking all year long, but you know, what's that coming down the track?
What's that coming down the track?
It's the mean machine in the red and blue.
It's the mean machine in the red and blue.
Go Dogs!
Go Dogs!
Go Dogs!
Go Dogs!
Go Dogs! Give me Williams to take the win 70-66.
Whoa.
The East are taking it home tonight.
All right, Mike. Didn't see that coming. Well, I'm gonna stick with the Bulldogs. I'm gonna go 77-74 for DeSales. Alex?
And bark it up here, DeSales 82-79, but that is going to do it for us 3 heads in this in the studio here. But we are going to set it to a quick break. When we come back, it's going to be Zach Malamud and Lucas McGarry and Madeline Cummings on the call here for this NCAA Division III tournament coverage here in Oswego, New York. Don't go anywhere.
Welcome back to Major Discussions.
Did you know dragging chains can spark a wildfire?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move. So I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Hey there, I'm Al Roker, class of 76. Yes, way back in 76. Back when the earth was cooling. You're watching WTOP.
Hello everybody, welcome inside Maxiel Gymnasium. Zach Malamud here with Lucas McGarry, the NCAA Division III Men's Basketball Tournament. Lucas, we have Williams taking on DeSales. Just opening thoughts on this one today.
I'm really excited for this game. It's March, and March is a great time of the month for this type of stuff. But honestly, I'm really excited to see how Williams' defense contains DeSales. Williams is one of the best in the country when it comes to defense, so I'm really curious to see how this defense limits DeSales' offense.
Yeah, it should be a really good one. We have this game, Williams taking on DeSales. We also have Babson taking on the hosts here, Oswego State. You'll catch it all right here in Maxiel Gymnasium. We're going to take a quick break. After the break, tip-off. March is here on the shores of Lake Ontario. Zach Malamud, Lucas McGarry, Madeline Cummings will join us after the break. Stay tuned here at Maxiel.
Hey there, I'm Al Roker, class of 76. Yes, way back in 76. Back when the earth was cooling. You're watching WTOP.
The Kinda Late Show with Chloe and Anna.
like licorice, Twizzlers, absolutely nasty.
The thought of turkey is just nauseating.
I think you're wrong, is what I think.
You think I'm wrong a lot of time.
I do think you're wrong a lot.
When you look at the number of disasters in the U.S., chances are every area will deal with some kind of emergency in the next decade. And between school, sports, and social lives, chances are you won't be with your kids when it happens. Will they know what to do? Ready.gov/kids has the educational tools and information to make the conversation easy. When the time comes, chances are they'll feel prepared, not scared. So talk with your family today.
Put the keys down, Kevin. But I'm gonna drive home. There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
I guess I have really been looking for love in this dating app. Yep, I'm definitely gonna call a ride home.
Welcome back to Major Discussions.
Did you know dragging chains can spark a wildfire?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move. So I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back inside Max Seal Gymnasium on the shores of Lake Ontario. Let's get into starting lineups for today's game. We'll start with Williams. It is Noah Dickens, Nate Caron. It is Brandon Ruffley, Alex Lee, as well as Cole Prowett-Smith on the other side. For DeSales, it's going to be Christian Golden, Caleb Gibbs, along with Ryan Boylan. We also have Mason Barnes, and then finally it's Will Bowen. Two really talented teams and definitely some real key players here.
Yeah, no, I'm really excited for this game. It's the start of the tournament. This is the start of everything that these teams have been working so hard for all season. And I really feel like both of these teams are just going to come out firing. And this is the chance to show everybody what they've been working for.
It definitely should be a good one. As we're going to get ready for tip-off in just a moment here, Williams is going to be in all purple today with the yellow lettering, the yellow numbers. And it's going to be DeSales in all white with the blue numbers. DeSales moving from left to right. Williams moving from right to left on the shores of Lake Ontario. March is here as we are underway at Max Seal Gymnasium. DeSales win the tip, and the Bulldogs will start with possession. Moving the ball around, Barnes gets it back up to Golden. Move back over to Barnes. Down to 3 on the shot clock and gets it off, and it's good as Will Bowen gets the first bucket of the game. Bowen, the senior 6'6" forward from Hummelstown, Pennsylvania. Here's Cole Prowett-Smith. Smith cannot hit that one. And DeSales get the board. Here's Mason Barnes. A 3 from the wing does not go, as Bowen with a bit of a heat check early. Alex Lee gets it to Nate Karen, over to Cole Prowett-Smith. They'll find Noah Dinkins. As a 3-ball is good. Alex Lee on the board, the leading scorer for Williams coming into this one.
Yeah, leave it up to Alex Lee, top scorer for him this year. Really got to get that momentum going early for him.
Bowen. Over to Golden. Now Bowen once again. Barnes. A pump fake from Gibbs. Gibbs pulls up, and it's off the back rim. Nate Karen with the rebound. Here's Lee. Dinkins. Dinkins on the inside, and it's tipped away. Boylan, great pass in the middle. Caleb Gibbs running the floor. DeSales with an early 4-3 lead. 17-20 on the clock. Zach Malamud, Lucas McGarry, Madeline Cummings will join us in just a moment. The NCAA Division III men's basketball tournament here on Lake Ontario. Prowett-Smith getting going as he gets on the board for his first points of the day. Boylan in the lane, cannot get that one to go. Williams on the fast break. Dinkins, he can't hit it either. Some early struggles from both teams. At the top of the key, it's Barnes. Ball moved around. Boylan, the three-pointer, and he knocks it down. Boylan. And a steal comes from Gibbs. Gibbs to the rack. He can't hit it. Offensive rebound. Golden. Here's Barnes. Barnes, the pick and roll action. Gibbs on the inside, and a travel here. As we're gonna head into our keys to the game now, as we have a bit of a timeout on the floor. Lucas, you can start off keys to the game for Williams today.
I already stated it before, but Williams, they really need to play hard on defense. They have one of the best defenses in the nation, and DeSales has one of the best offenses in the nation. So I really feel like this is going to be a clash of both of these really talented teams. But for Williams, I really think that if they can stay strong, limit the threes, they can really get a good win here.
Yeah, definitely. As for my keys to the game, I have DeSales here. I'm going hit threes early. As you mentioned, the offense and defense of both teams. DeSales strong offense, Williams strong defense. Williams first in three-point defense on the year. Also, limit fouls if you're DeSales. Williams, they are 5th in free throw percentage in all of Division III. Can really knock shots down at the line, so don't give them any opportunities. And if that's the keys, then it should be a good one. But an early start here, DeSales with a 7-5 lead. What have you seen so far?
I've seen both teams just kind of getting a feel for each other. These teams have no idea who they are, so it's really just a guessing game of what each team is going to be like. You can watch tape, but obviously it's not the same as playing. So I think just early on, we're about 4 minutes in, they've just getting a feel for each other. DeSales has a 2-point lead, but Williams has also looked strong. And I think both these teams are really going to settle in here, and we're going to really see one team take over.
As it's going to be Lee who brings it up. Alex Stoddard checks in. And a turnover for Williams. Taken away by Barnes. Barnes. Bowen tried to get it back to Barnes and tipped away. Sammy Cooley tipped that one out as he checks in for Williams. It's going to be sideline out of bounds. Ryan Boylan, the senior from Easton, Pennsylvania, throws it into Mason Barnes. Barnes inside, off the backboard, rolls around, doesn't go. Gibbs offensive rebound, and that one doesn't go. Cooley inside, great pass, Sammy Cooley, and it's Stoddard who finishes. Alex Stoddard, the senior out of Wellesley, Massachusetts. There's 15 on the shot clock. Ball moved around, down to 6, and an offensive foul. Boylan with the hook and hold. And they're going to get the call on that one.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great call. I think Williams really needs to do a better job of rebounding the ball. DeSales already has 2 offensive boards so far. Luckily for Williams, it hasn't led to any points, but it will start to lead to points very soon, so you really need to clean it up on the glass on defense.
Ball swung around, Williams. Cooley. Over to Stoddard. Stoddard will try a 3. That one's no good. As Hudson Hansen checked in for the Eafs. Barnes finds Everly. And it's going to be a foul on the floor here. Just the first team foul on Williams. It's going to be baseline out of bounds. Barnes has to get it in, finds Gibbs. Gibbs in the lane. And Williams did not like that call. Hudson Hansen called there. Had the hands up, just bumped him on the body.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough call to make if you're a ref. He did everything he was supposed to do, but still a little bit too much contact, so going to line for 2, but it could have gone either way.
At the line is Caleb Gibbs. How about at 6'7"? He's a 91% free throw shooter. Misses the first one there. Still getting used to the rims here at Max Zeal. But 91% as a big man is just ridiculous.
That's exactly what you want, because they're the guys that are getting fouled the most. If you can have a big that's shooting that well from the line, that's a perfect player right there.
As DeSales with an 8-7 lead. Stoddard. Cole Prowett-Smith cannot hit from deep, but the offensive rebound from Hansen. 14 on the shot clock. Hansen in the lane, and a great finish.
Great move there by Hansen. Defender really had nothing to do with it. Just a great move.
Ball moved around quickly. Atkinson. And a turnover for DeSales. Hansen. Prowett Smith cannot hit it. 9-8, Williams lead it. Eberle. Over to Barnes. Elijah Eberle. And a travel called. And another turnover for DeSales. 4-2. DeSales with 4 in the turnover battle.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of tough. It's not the way you want to be playing. It's still early, still feeling things out, but DeSales 4 turnovers already, just not ideal at all. You really got to clean that up, and that's the reason why Williams is now ahead.
That's Karen. They get it down, Hansen, and a hook and hold on the offensive end for Hansen. As Atkinson will inbound. As Jordan Holmquist checks in, ball lost control there. Eberle a bit frustrated. And another turnover for DeSales as Williams, a very defensive team, are going to feast on that.
Yeah, I mean, that's what they do. They pressure you. They put a lot of pressure on your offense, and they make you turn the ball over. And this is a perfect example of it right here. 5 turnovers already, and we're not even 8 minutes into this game.
Ball moved around, tipped away roughly with 8 on the shot clock. An opportunity, and it doesn't go for Williams. A good defensive possession for the Bulldogs. On the other end, Eberle tipped off his head out of bounds. And a media timeout here, as Williams with a 9-8 advantage. We're going to send it down now to our sideline reporter, Madeline Cummings, with today's coaches battle. We apologize for some technical difficulties. We'll try and get Madeline back. But a 9-8 lead for Williams. Both teams kind of getting going when it comes to the offensive end. Williams with the 6 turnovers, DeSales with the 6 turnovers. That really stands out. DeSales also a heavily offensive team, shooting 3 for 9 so far today, 33%. But in a new gym, you gotta try and get used to this type of game, and they have to deal with that today.
Yeah, I mean, and like you said, it's a heavily offensive team, but they're going against a heavily defensive team. I mean, Williams, they've showed their grit already, and there's a reason that DeSales has 6 turnovers. Like, it's not stuff that you see, but they're just putting the pressure on, and they're making DeSales work 10 times harder just to get the ball across midcourt, just to make routine passes. And I really think Williams, so far, has been playing the better game because they're playing to their strengths, and DeSales is having to catch up to Williams. So I really think Williams is settling in here, and they're playing really, really well so far. And if they keep this up, they're going to look good for the rest of this game.
It's back underway here at Maxfield Gym. If you're just joining us, Zach Malum and Lucas McGarry. Madeline Cummings here at Maxfield Gym on the shores of Lake Ontario. Williams College with roughly misses a 3. Taking on the DeSales University Bulldogs out of Pennsylvania. A Massachusetts versus Pennsylvania matchup here in the Northeast. DeSales with possession. Atkinson loses his footing, and a travel called. And something that Scott Koval is going to have to figure out for his Bulldogs team is these turnovers. They're just hurting them.
It's the pressure. I mean, Williams is doing a great job of making every offensive possession for DeSales as tough as possible, and they're making it so difficult just to score routine baskets.
Play down low roughly. Inside, Dinkins is able to finish. 11-8, Williams lead it. Eberle. Oh, give and go there, and Eberle is going to go to the line. A great find by Jordan Holmquist. As we're going to send it down once again to our sideline reporter, Madeline Cummings. Madeline, what do you got for us?
Thanks, guys. This game is a matchup between two super accomplished teams, but also two accomplished staffs of coaches. Williams head coach Kevin App was awarded 2017 Glenn Robinson NCAA Division III National Coach of the Year, and in 2022 he was NABC Region 1 Coach of the Year. Prior to Williams, App was an assistant at the United States Military Academy for 4 seasons, where he helped the team post their first winning record in 28 years. He was also an assistant at Cornell University, his alma mater, for a season where he helped them reach the NCAA Sweet 16, won the Ivy League championship, and set a league record with 29 wins. DeSales head coach Scott Koval has been with the Bulldogs for over 30 years. With a career record of 546 to 258, Koval holds the record for most wins by a men's basketball coach in the school's history. Koval has been named MAC Freedom Coach of the Year 10 times, and in 2009, the National Association of Basketball Coaches honored Koval as the Mid-Atlantic Coach of the Year. Prior to DeSales, he spent 7 years as a Division I assistant coach at William and Mary, his alma mater, Penn State and Lafayette. Now, back to Zach and Lucas.
Thank you very much, Madeline. Two great coaches here, and Kevin App as well as Scott Koval, both getting their teams going here early. It's 13-9, Williams lead it, as that free throw from Devin Atkinson ends a 6-0 run for Williams. As Atkinson goes 1 of 2, it's 13-9 with just over 10 minutes left in this first half. Crowett Smith. Here's Karen. Crowett Smith, the corner three is no good. Moving quickly. Holmquist can't get it to go. An offensive rebound though for the Bulldogs. He'll try another, Holmquist, and he knocks that one down.
Once again, offensive boards kill Williams. They really, really need to get cleaner on the offensive board side, because every single time DeSales gets an offensive board, it's another possession that they can try and score. Williams really needs to clean that up.
As a three-pointer on the other end, Alex Stoddard knocks that one down. He's up to 5. Stoddard with 2+ three-pointers in 12 games this season. He's actually had 3 games with 5+ three-pointers. The three-pointers are raining here at Zeal as Bowen hits that one. It's 16-15 Williams. Crowett Smith, how about another? Raining threes in Oswego, New York. 4 straight possessions with 3 balls for both these teams. We talked about it just a moment ago. The struggles just getting used to a different gym.
I think they're okay. I think they're okay now. I mean, 4 threes from back to back to back to back. I mean, crazy just to see that happen, but both great offensive possessions for both teams on all of that, because it was kind of slow to start out. Both teams, like you said, feeling it out, new court, new place they've never been before, so it's going to take a little while to get used to while you're in game. But I really think now that they found their stride, I mean, they just showed it with 4 threes back to back.
Williams have hit 4 of their last 5 from the field. The turnover from Barnes there, not on the same page with Holmquist. And that's turnover number 8 for DeSales, a team that only turns it over 11.8 times per game. They're also 7th in all of Division III in terms of field goal percentage. At 49%, they're at 41% right now to start this one. Ball moved around. Stoddard trying down low for Hansen, and he gets the foul call. Just the second team foul on DeSales versus Williams, who have 6 team fouls already. Got to be careful with 8 minutes still left in this first half. Hansen. Ball tipped around. DeSales looking for a travel there. The jumper is no good, but Hansen there for the offensive rebound, and a foul called on Will Bowen. That's going to be the first on him.
Great defense there by Bullard on Hansen, but I mean, Hansen got the board back and then a chippy little foul on Bullard. But what I really think the problem is with DeSales right now is that they're just playing very, very sloppy, and I think that they just need to clean that up, because 8 turnovers and 3 just by Elijah Eberle, who usually is their top scorer, still quiet, no points so far.
Here's a word from the NCAA.
Passion's love. Passion is love for what you do. Because I think when you face challenges, it comes down to how much you want it and how much you love it. Passion is what keeps you going forward. Seeing so many people that were like-minded and so hardworking in their sport and academics, being surrounded by like-minded people makes you want to be more passionate. I think it pushes you to a different level that maybe you didn't think you had. And you can do the best of both worlds and love all of it.
Welcome back inside Max Hill Gymnasium. There's games going on all over the nation today. Lucas, what's one that stands out to you?
I'm going to go with number 21 ranked Elmhurst versus number 6 ranked Calvin. Both teams are hot. Elmhurst 22-5, Calvin 22-4. Elmhurst just won their conference championship 68-64 against Illinois Wesleyan, and Calvin lost in their semifinals of their conference tournament. But they have some really great players to watch. Jalen Overweight, 20 points and 10 rebounds per game. He's a stud. And then Elmhurst, John Itunis, 17.5 points per game. I'm really excited for that game.
Sammy Cooley gets a bucket there for Williams. Some great games across the country. Should be a good one. That's a jump ball, and it's with the possession of Williams.
I said it once, and I'll say it 100 more times. The Williams pressure is real. They are playing phenomenal defense right now. They do this every game, and I knew it was coming, and DeSales doesn't have an answer for it yet.
Every category you go down the list, how good Williams are defensively, as the 3 doesn't go from Stoddard. And points allowed per game, they're number 9 in D3. Field goal against, they're number 8 in D3. 3-point defense, the top 3-point defense in the nation.
Can't get better than that.
And they're definitely having an impact early on this DeSales team. As 3 doesn't go for Boylan. Ball tipped out of bounds. Williams couldn't really believe that one, as DeSales will get possession baseline out of bounds.
Yeah, Williams bench has been talking off the ear of the ref a lot there. Getting up after pretty much every single call.
In the game right now for DeSales, you have Eberle, Boylan, Barnes, Golden, and Gibbs. As Barnes, bit of trickery there, throws it off the defender on the inbound, gets it back, didn't get a shot up, but they have possession. Eberle denied inside. Barnes thought about it, throws one up, and it's no good. Prowett-Smith gets the rebound, falling out of bounds, somehow keeps possession. Stoddard open from deep, and it doesn't go. And a foul on the inside. As we take a look at that inbound play, Barnes with a bit of a trick there.
Yeah, I mean, If it works, it works. You do what you got to do. It's the tournament. If you're coming down to it, do what you got to do, man.
As Barnes, because DeSales are in the bonus now, 17th foul on Williams. Barnes going to the line for a 1-and-1. Only a 62% free throw shooter.
Too many fouls from Williams early. You still got 6 minutes left of basically just free points for DeSales if they want. Williams really got to be more careful. Like, they are a defensive team, so fouls obviously are more prone to happen, but it's the tournament. You can't give up free points like this, especially when it's so early. You still got 6 minutes left, just free points that you're giving away.
Barnes was named to the Mac Freedom second team earlier this week as he makes both free throws. It's a 4-point game. Here's Cooley. Crowett Smith at the top of the key. Karen. Crowett Smith. 6 on the shot clock. Karen, the great post move. And a nice bounce, sits easy for him.
Big man basketball. Doesn't get any better than that. Spin move, hook, great shot.
Karen averaging 9.7 points per game this season. Named to the NESCAC first team earlier this week for Williams. Gibbs, shot clock under 10. Gibbs on the inside, can't hit it, and a foul called. It's gonna go on Eberle, 4th team foul. Williams with a 23-17 advantage.
I think Williams really caught DeSales off guard with how they're playing. I think DeSales came into this thinking that they were gonna score a lot of points. That's what they've done all season. But Williams has just really shut them down, and it's only a 6-point game, but watching it really doesn't seem like it's only a 6-point game. They've just been outplayed so far. DeSales only shooting 31% from the field and 9 turnovers. And their top scorer, Elijah Eberle, 0 points. He's taken 1 shot in this whole game and missed both of his free throws. Just Williams is doing a great job of limiting all of DeSales' best options. So I really think that they're going to need to come up with some new stuff. Scott Koval, we're going to need to come up with some new stuff maybe at the end of this half.
Definitely, as DeSales take a timeout here, and you mentioned all about this game so far. If you're just joining us, Zach Mallon with Lucas McGarry, Madeline Cummings here at Max Seal Gym on the shores of Lake Ontario. Oswego State, the host for this NCAA Division III men's basketball. First 2 matchups, round of 32 as well as round of 64. Oswego State will take on Babson later, but it's Williams with a 23-17 advantage over DeSales. There's Alex Lee. Has that one taken away. Barnes will reset things for the Bulldogs. Bowen came back in for Eberle. Here's Boylan. Mason Barnes. Great pass inside. Bowen. And Golden will try a deep one. That one's no good. All tipped around, and it's going to be DeSales possession. Baseline out of bounds.
Williams not doing the best job really boxing out under the rim. They've been getting boxed out a lot on the offensive boards, and on the offensive glass, and that's what led to the offensive rebounds. So they really got to try and box out better when it comes to defense.
As Bowen can't hit a 3. DeSales, the number 2 team in the nation in terms of rebound margin, absolutely dominate teams on the boards. Averaging 39.4 rebounds per game to their opponent's 28.5. That's a great steal by Golden. Takes that one away from Lee. DeSales looking to take advantage. And Bowen denied there. Williams doing a great job defensively so far today. Karen, the three-pointer is no good. Golden to bring it up. 3:40 remaining in this first half. 23-17, Williams lead it. Barnes, the pick and roll action, and Bowen is able to finish. Mason Barnes averaging 4.7 assists per game. One of the best passers in the nation.
Yeah, I mean, you can't get better than that. That was a phenomenal pass, and it led to just a really, really easy bucket from Bowen.
Roughly, great post move, and he finishes. Roughly gets on the board. The second leading scorer for Williams coming into this one. Barnes, a deep one, is no good. Offensive rebound, though, for DeSales. Their 7th offensive rebound so far in this one. The three from Golden is no good. Ball tipped around, and Karen's able to catch up to it. A timeout called for Williams. It's going to extend to a media timeout. I'm going to quickly go through the game that I have on my mind, one to watch out for. And I'm going to Randolph-Macon down in Ashland, Virginia, but not for Randolph-Macon's game. The neutral game there, St. Joseph's of Connecticut, 24-4 on the season, going up against Geneva, 24-3 on the season. St. Joseph's, both teams actually have won their conference tournament. Didn't get a host site though, and they now go to Randolph-Macon. The winner most likely going to face Randolph-Macon, but obviously that game going on. St. Joseph's have won 16 straight going into that one. Geneva winning 16 of their last 17. It really should be a good one. Some really talented players on both sides. And St. Joseph's, a team that this Williams team knows well from earlier this season. They ended up going up against them earlier in the season, and it was a great game overall. Babson ended up going up against St. Joseph's, but Williams actually played them last year. So know them all too well in this NCAA tournament. They ended up getting knocked out last year to a team in St. Joseph's. As we're gonna get back underway, here at Max Zeal. Williams with possession. Ball put on the floor roughly. It's all over it. 6 on the shot clock. Karen, Stoddard, gotta put one up. Stoddard! 2 open, and he sinks it.
Stoddard, fantastic shot right now. Now 2 for 5 from 3. Get him a heat check.
Stoddard with his second 3 of the game. 34% he shoots from deep. And another turnover for DeSales. Lee gets it to Prowett Smith. Roughly, and an offensive foul. Gonna go on Nate Karen, an illegal screen there.
Once again, though, you saw on the other side, another steal by Williams. It's that defense just taking over the game and really making it the forefront of this Williams attack. And that steal led to almost a basket. They had an illegal screen, but could have scored some points off that without it. So I really feel like 10 turnovers in the first half alone, DeSales got to clean something up.
Keep mentioning Alex Stoddard. He had 18 and 7 rebounds, along with 6 3-pointers in the championship loss in the NESCAC for Williams just a week ago on Sunday. Really strong 3-point shooter. He's gotten going early at 28-19. Williams lead, 1:31 on the clock. And it's going to be Christian Golden at the line, an 82% free throw shooter. Golden can't hit it, but the offensive rebound once again for DeSales. Barnes looking to get going. That one's no good. Stoddard moving quickly. An open Cooley, and he stepped out of bounds. Had the open three there. Maybe thought about it a little bit too much. Went to go take it in, but a turnover for Williams.
Yeah, it's that jab step. It's that quick back step that you take. Get a little bit of acceleration. He just stepped back a little bit too far. Touched the line, and the ref is watching it like a hawk. Always has to be. And he just stepped out by just a little bit.
Gibbs. A handoff to Barnes, an illegal screen there from Caleb Gibbs. And that's going to be another turnover for DeSales. 11 for the Bulldogs. Stoddard, the three again. That one's no good. And a battle down low. It's Gibbs who comes out with it. Moving quickly. Golden, the corner three is no good. And the Bulldogs just have not gotten going from range. A 39% three-point shooting team. Great pass inside. Finishing for the and one is Ruffley.
Great pass into the paint, and Ruffley just took it up. So powerful, and it was enough for the foul. And Williams has just been really outplaying DeSales. I mean, 19 points in one half of basketball. I don't know if that's a discredit to DeSales or a credit to Williams, maybe a little of both, but 19 points and a half is very, very low. So huge credit to Williams for just really limiting the amount of scoring and just really anything offensively productive on this DeSales side. They've missed shots, turn over the ball. Williams has just been so good on defense so far.
As DeSales are scoreless in the last 3.5. They've hit just one of their last 12 from the field. Trying to break that one. Gibbs inside. And he gets his offensive rebound. A big play there by Gibbs. And that will finish the half as it's Williams with a 30-21 advantage over DeSales here at Max Steel Gym in Oswego, New York. Zach Mallon with Lucas McGarry. And Lucas, just a great half overall for Williams. They hold DeSales, a really high-powered offense, to just 21 first half points. Just a huge defensive credit has to go to Williams here.
No, I mean, they played phenomenally. They returned, they forced so many turnovers. They looked so good. 3 steals, a block, and not only that, they've been limiting scoring from some of their best players. Elijah Eberle, the top scorer on DeSales, 0 points, has taken 1 shot total in this whole first half. You have to give credit to that defense. And on the other side, Williams just playing great basketball altogether. They don't have one huge scorer, but they have a lot of scores. They have a lot of guys getting the ball. They have a lot of guys putting the ball into the basket. I think the one thing that Williams needs to clean up on is the rebounding on the defensive side. DeSales has a lot of offensive rebounds. Credit to DeSales, they are one of the best rebounding teams in the country, but I really feel like Williams can clean it up, start boxing out better, and I really think that Williams played just a phenomenal first half.
Definitely has been a good one and a good second half ahead of us. But we're going to take a quick break, and then we'll have the halftime show. Stay tuned as at Max Steel, it's 30-21. Williams lead it over to DeSales, the NCAA Division III men's basketball tournament here at Max Steel Gym.
I believe sportsmanship is it's a mutual admiration and respect for your fellow competitors. We all go through a lot to reach the point where we compete against one another. It's important to realize that. So once we're finally on the field or on the court or on the starting block, we look at each other as fellow human beings and not just competitors. Being able to recognize the hard work that other athletes are putting in creates a more positive and inclusive environment.
Welcome back to Major Discussions.
Did you know dragging chains can spark a wildfire?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move. So I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Hey there, I'm Al Roker, class of 76. Yes, way back in 76. Back when the earth was cooling. You're watching WTOP. Hey there, I'm Al Roker, class of 76. Yes, way back in 76. Back when the earth was cooling. You're watching WTOP.
The Kinda Late Show with Chloe and Anna. Like licorice, Twizzlers, absolutely nasty. The thought of turkey is just nauseating. I think you're wrong, is what I think.
You think I'm wrong a lot of time.
I do think you're wrong a lot.
When you look at the number of disasters in the U.S., chances are every area will deal with some kind of emergency in the next decade. And between school, sports, and social lives, chances are you won't be with your kids when it happens. Will they know what to do? Ready.gov/kids has the educational tools and information to make the conversation easy. When the time comes, chances are they'll feel prepared, not scared. So talk with your family today.
Put the keys down, Kevin.
But I'm gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
I guess I have really been looking for love in this dating app. Yep, I'm definitely gonna call a ride home.
And welcome back to us three here in the Al Roker studio, here for the intermission report as the Williams College is up against DeSales. Kenny, just give me your opening thoughts from this first half.
Well, I mean, you saw my prediction. I went with a lower scoring game for G3 basketball at 72-66, and I've seen pretty much exactly what I expected. The number 1 3-point defense in the country is shutting down from beyond three. The number 9 overall defense is not allowing a high-powered offensive score. My opening thoughts are, Williams' defense is doing well, and DeSales faltering on the offensive end of the court.
Absolutely, and I have to agree with you there, Kenny, but one thing that kind of stuck out to me was those fouls from Williams. They had, I believe, 7 fouls in that first half. That got DeSales into the bonus, so they had some shots at the line. Obviously didn't capitalize on all of those, but something to be wary of in the second half.
Yeah, so a 9-point advantage for the Williams East so far here in this first half, but we will take a look at the half summary coming up. As you know, we were mentioning Williams, obviously they are doing much better from deep from DeSales. I mean, Kenny, we look at the turnovers for DeSales, 11-7, something that you don't really want to see going down the stretch here in the second half for the Bulldogs.
No, definitely not. And we said earlier that Williams was the school that was great for the turnover ratio and getting the points off turnovers. Pulling off 11 turnovers definitely led to some points for the East, and I'm surprised you didn't mention it, Alex, but my God, look at the field goal percentage, 48.1 to 26.9. What a difference. That's absolutely different. And the three-point shooting, very different as well. Williams, 30.8 to 23.1 for the Bulldogs. Mike, surprising difference.
Absolutely, and I think it all comes down to DeSales getting out-hustled out on the court today. We see Williams playing that full-court press, making them work for their points, and they're having a really hard time.
Yeah, we know that going down the stretch here in the second half for DeSales, obviously if they can't clean it up, they are going to obviously go home. And this is a winner go home. So obviously Williams is taking advantage coming out in this first half, but you know that there's always 2 halves of a basketball game. But we are going to talk about heating up from three, from Williams. Williams, as we mentioned, DeSales was really struggling from 3. And Kenny, look at these highlights from the three-pointing, really a lot from the arc.
Well, we weren't seeing too much, but Mike, they were going back
to back.
And you look at that, it was electric from beyond the arc for that short moment there. It's been shut down from beyond that three-point line for most of the game, but the back-to-back definitely looks a little bit different, like a totally new ball game that we had saw. And they were making moves, getting the open man. Look at the defense just faltering. And look at that slow-mo shot. Boom! There's the bottom of the net. A gorgeous shot. And like we said, they were really shutting it down from beyond the 3 for DeSales. But they were hitting it at points there, Mike.
Absolutely. And we had a little break there in the game. I think they were able to catch their breaths back and then start playing that good defense that we saw earlier on.
Yeah, and I love the chemistry between you two, to be honest. Back to back. I mean, something that we can kind of see here going into the second half, see who can really do much more from the arc. But we are going to take a look at the top scorers. We had Will Bowen for the Bulldogs and then Alex Stoddard for the Eafs for the Williams. We'll start off with Alex Stoddard. Kenny, take it away.
Well, he's playing a great game so far with 8 points, 3 for 7 from the field, and 2 for 6. The best of his team from beyond the arc so far. The team's leading in scores for tonight. Also picking up 2 rebounds, no assist tallied yet. Only 2 fouls and only 10 minutes played behind 4 of the other players. 6-man, not too bad.
Absolutely, and for DeSales, it'll be Will Bowen, who has 7 points on the half, 3 for 5 from the floor, and 1 for 2 from 3 points. So really good first half for those two guys.
Yeah, the top scorers for both of the teams really trying to make an impact here as we look at the highlights from Will Bowen, as he's just trying to do all he can for the Bulldogs here, trying to give some life, give some momentum here going into the second half for DeSales. But we will move over to this aggressiveness. I mean, literally the aggressiveness for this round of 64 has just been electric. And I mean, Mike, kind of take us into the aggressiveness. A lot of fouls here so far in this first half. What did you see from the aggression?
Had 15 fouls in the first half between the two teams, 9 on Williams and 6 on DeSales. So a very physical game. Players might start getting into foul trouble in the second half here. So that's something that these teams need to be cautious of, because if some of these strong players start getting into foul trouble, you're without some of your best shooters, some of your best passers on the team, and could be it.
I mean, you got 2 DeSales players with 3 personal fouls already, 1 for William with 3, and you got a bunch of guys with 2 personal fouls. Some guys already getting into foul trouble earlier on. 9 total personal fouls for the East, and for the Bulldogs, 6 total personal fouls. A pretty foul-heavy first half with 15 combined total fouls, leading to those charity stripe opportunities that both these teams all season long have been able to capitalize on. And also, I think it's enough talk about fouls. You know what time it is, Alex? I think it's time for some monitor madness for this March Madness broadcast. I will get out of my seat, the ever so rare getting up. We're going to take our way over to the monitor. No camera to follow.
Give me some highlights, Kenny.
Over here. Hello, guys. You get to see the rest of me. So right now we're seeing a play set up by the Bulldogs, top of the key, dishing around. Look at that. The defense falls back, leaves the wide man open. The off-ball movement works very well for the Bulldogs. And take a look over at Williams. Dishing around down low. The wide man down the back corner sneaks around from the top of the key and makes the steal. Gets the turnover for the Bulldogs. Williams drives down low. Look at the two men open up top. They were focused up north. Should have been looking down south. They weren't ready for that one. Williams drives down low here. Top of the key. Look at that. Just not ready for the deep ball. Looking down low again. It's just these opportunities that are missed for the defense of DeSales, while Williams again capitalizing down low, using the big man opportunity, breaking the defense up north towards the top of the key. Down low again, crashing four men down. You're going to leave someone in the corner, but bang! There's that three. Works every single time for the Bulldogs. And look at this. Lane here, splits down wide. Shot comes again for DeSales. They can continue to capitalize on those opportunities. That's what could be a game changer for them over Williams. Well, Williams now looks down low. Again, crashing down low, leaving him open on the arc. That three will land there for the East. Williams now down low again. Look at the shot, the jumper. That's just a good play by the East there as well. Now as you look down, driving low, look at the two men around the side open. He doesn't make the pass, and that's an easy board for the big man for the East. Up top of the key again, crashing up. There's two men down. You leave that lane open, and that one's going to work in the favor of the Bulldogs. Some of the same plays we're seeing, the off-ball movement working well for the Bulldogs. The East starting to capitalize on it. They've done all year long. The #1 three-point defense, as well as the #9 overall defensive team in the league. That's the things that you see from teams like that.
Oh, great analysis from Mr. Kenny Gerard. Great job on that one, Kenny. You're getting me fired up for this second half, but that is enough from us here in the first intermission report. We are going to send it to the Max Seal Gymnasium with Zach Malamud and Lucas McGarry. Guys, take it away.
Thank you, guys. Welcome back inside Max Seal Gymnasium. Zach Malamud here with Lucas McGarry. Madeline Cummings will join us shortly. And Lucas, at half, 30-21. Williams with the advantage, and it's all about defense. We talked about that coming in. Williams, one of the top defensive teams in the nation, and they're proving it here in this first half.
Yeah, I mean, I saw exactly what I expected to happen. I figured that DeSales would come out, and they're one of the best offensive teams in the country. They're going to come out, they're going to try and score a lot. And Williams just went, no. We're the best. We're one of the best defensive teams in the country. We don't let teams score, and that is exactly what they're doing. 21 points in the first half. That's it. And it was 19. There was a last-second tip that got it to 21. But for pretty much like the whole first half, it was 19 points. And I really just think that Williams played a phenomenal first half. They have the momentum going into the second half. And if they keep playing the same way they're playing, they're going to win this game. DeSales, I really think, needs to change up their offense, make it faster, and try and disperse this Williams defense and try and confuse them. And I really think that DeSales can come back in this game. Only 9-point deficit, but they really need to change something up because Williams has just been controlling them when it comes to defense.
Definitely, Lucas, as DeSales finished the half, one of their last 6 from the field. Williams, on the other hand, with 3 of their last 4. A trip to the round of 32 on the line, and Bowen's early 3 is no good for DeSales. The struggles continue from deep as DeSales in the first half, 3 for 13 they were.
Now 3 for 14.
Yeah, make that 3 for 14. One of their last 10 from three-point range. Just has not been the Bulldogs' day so far, and Lee gets a great bounce on the three-pointer. And the bad day gets worse. It's a 12-point Williams lead. As that one is no good from Boylan. Crowett Smith. Williams in purple and DeSales in white. As the three goes down for Williams, as Dinkin knocks down his first three-pointer of the day, and all of a sudden it is a 15-point lead for the East of Williams College. DeSales looking for anything on the offensive end. Boylan cannot hit it. A 6-0 run in the last minute 30 for the East. Karen finds Ruffley. Cannot hit the three. 36-21, Williams lead it. The NCAA Division III men's basketball tournament here on the shores of Lake Ontario. The first of two matchups in the round of 64. Will Bowen on the inside. And no bounces going DeSales' way.
And then a foul on Bowen to finish it off too. Just a meaningless foul by Bowen after the miss. Williams is playing perfect already in the first 2 minutes of this game. They're shutting down the DeSales offense completely. You can see the faces of the DeSales players as they're dribbling it. They're grimacing. They're gritting their teeth because Williams is shutting down everything they're doing. They can't produce anything. And then on the offensive side, they're putting up great shots.
Williams with an offensive rebound here. Lee from deep, and he sinks it.
Great shot selection to start the game for Williams. Williams is on fire to start this half, and DeSales really doesn't have an answer for it right now. They have their one thing to rely on, and that's their scoring and their rebounding too, but it just hasn't worked so far, and I really think that Williams is just completely dominating them. Now an 18-point lead for them. DeSales really just needs to come up with something new.
As Alex Lee, 3 for 3 from beyond the arc. He's now added to his total 6 games now with 3+ three-pointers for Williams, and that's a recipe for success, taking advantage of DeSales' defense, while DeSales just cannot get a bounce on the offensive end. It's been a struggle so far. 23% they're shooting from the field, 21% from the three-point line. They're scoreless in the last 3 minutes, and it's a 9-0 Williams run, 18-4 run leading back into the first half in the last 8 minutes and 55 seconds. Williams have just completely taken over this game from the end of the first half into this second half. An 18-point lead for the Eves, and they're feeling good right now.
Yeah, and I mean, even if you look at the Bulldogs bench, they all look like they lost the game already. You still got so much time left. You need to start digging back into this deficit that you're in. But all of them just look so down and so upset about how they're playing. You need to get back into this game, but the game's not over yet. You still got 17 minutes left.
As Gibbs looking to break the drought. Great defense by Karen. Golden. Boylan. Passed around. Barnes, a deep one. And it still doesn't go. Scott Koval frustrated on the bench, and even more frustrated now, Cole Prowett-Smith, and Williams have broken it open here. A 21-point lead, 16:48 left in this second half. Barnes to Golden. 26-6 run in the last 13 minutes for Williams. A three doesn't go for Gibbs. Prowett-Smith will pull up from deep, and he sinks it.
Get another heat check for Prowett-Smith, and this whole Williams offense so far, 3 after 3, just being flung up there, and they are dropping every single time. This game's just blown wide open by Williams.
Williams absolutely on fire from deep to start this second half. They're now 5 for 7 from beyond the arc. On absolute fire, 9 for 20 on the game. Shooting it at 45% from beyond the arc today. And a team that you don't really see too much offense from them. They're saying, yeah, we got some stuff in them. They shooting 32% from beyond the arc this season. Now at 45% with 15:57 to go in this one.
Yeah, I mean, they all coming in this second half, too. 4 for 13 from 3 in the first half, and then 5 for 7 now in the first 4 minutes of the second half. 71% from 3 in 4 minutes. That is a crazy stat. Just great shooting overall by them. And then on the defensive side, DeSales can't even put a shot up. Just blocked or stolen away or some type of turnover. And the only shots that DeSales are taking are just these really poor and highly contested shots that Williams is able to easily control, and just they're really shutting down all of DeSales' top scorers, and it's just a perfect game so far by Williams.
An awful first 4 minutes of this one in the second half for DeSales, and one they may not be able to come back from. They're still scoreless in this second half. 0 for 7 from the field, 0 for 3 from deep. And on the other end, Williams on a 15-0 run in this second half. They've shot 5 for 7 overall, and every single one of them has come from deep. As DeSales look to try and chip away at this big Williams lead now. And it has to come with points here. Golden pushed around, and I believe we're going to have a foul on the floor. We are. It's going to go on Stoddard. That's his third personal foul, so one to watch out for. Eberle inside, and another bounce just does not go the way of DeSales. Lee can't hit from deep, but another offensive rebound. Lee cannot hit from mid-range either. A 3 for DeSales is no good from Holmquist. Here's Lee. In the lane, can't hit it. Holmquist. Still a drought for DeSales right now. Still without a bucket in this second half. 4:43 on the clock. Hansen down low, great move from Brandon Arnold, who checked in a moment ago. His first points of the day. The senior from North Carolina. Barnes finds Bowen. Bowen cannot hit it. And it just has not come easy. Stoddard with the deep ball. And it's a 29-point lead for Williams. A 20-0 run. And DeSales, very dejected, finally get a bucket.
First basket of the half for DeSales, 6 minutes in. Now 1 for 11 in this half. Just really bad basketball right now.
Lee to the lane, and he finishes.
And I've talked about Williams' defense so much, but their offense is playing just as good as their defense right now. They're scoring at will right now. DeSales has no answer for them on defense. And then when it comes to Williams' defense, they're shutting them down.
A strong defensive team, DeSales is as well. only allows 63.2 points per game to opponents. Just has not worked for them so far. So we're going to get some substitutions.
Yeah, DeSales now 1 for 12, just not taking good shots. That one basket that they made was off of an offensive board, and he just went back up with it. So really no offensive production for DeSales in this half. They just can't seem to get anything going. Williams is just thwarting every single play that they have.
As DeSales calls a timeout here. Thank you for joining us here at Max Seal Gym. Zach Malaman, Lucas McGarry, Madeline Cummings. And here's a word from the NCAA.
Responsibility is being accountable for your words and actions, first and foremost. It also is an obligation to be a positive influence in the communities around you. Being in a D3 program, you're going to have lots of different opportunities. You're not just an athlete, you're also involved in student life. Your academics are extremely important. We give a lot of our student athletes responsibilities right from the start by giving them leadership opportunities, by having them engage in the community, be a positive influence. That's being a responsible person.
The NCAA men's basketball tournament here on the shores of Lake Ontario, Oswego, New York. DeSales University, the Bulldogs taking on Williams College, the Eefs. And Williams have broken it open here in this second half, outscoring DeSales 22-2 to start the second half. 13:05 to go, and a turnover for Holmquist. And Prowett-Smith takes it up court for Williams. Down low, Nate Karen. Karen, too easy for Nate Karen. Karen hasn't needed to do too much today, with now 4 points on the afternoon. There's another miss there from Golden. Cooley. Down in the post is Hansen. And a bit handsy there was Devin Atkinson. That's going to be the second personal, or this first personal, second team foul. And some substitutions come in. Hansen as well as Cooley check out. Golden checks out as Ruffley and Dan Lee come in for Williams. Prowett-Smith. Prowett-Smith inside. Was looking for the call, then got it. And he's going to go to the line for two.
Yeah, I feel like just DeSales, they're running out of options. They're showing no real life. They're showing no fight. And I think it's just all Williams really just putting all of the pressure on them, and DeSales not knowing what to do with it. Just the defense has been flawless. 23 points now through 28 minutes of play. That's less than a point per minute on a game where you score 2 points per basket. So just a really poor performance from such an offensively dominant team. But you also have to give credit to Williams, who is such a great defensive team. And I think it just came down to Williams wanted this more.
As going 1 of 2 was Prowett-Smith. DeSales with a look on the other end. And Chakowski, who checked in, couldn't hit it. Roughly, say Karen. Lee. Karen, the three-pointer. Just adding it on here. It's a 35-point advantage. Atkinson gets the bucket there. He's up to 3 on the afternoon. Dan Lee at the top of the key. Roughly in the lane. Too easy. Roughly up to 6. We're trading buckets now, Strakowski. Lee. to Prowett-Smith. 10:55 left in this second half, 60-27. Williams on top. Roughly the corner three is no good. Gibbs cannot grab that rebound. Tips out of bounds. An immediate timeout here at Max Zeal. Zach Malamud here with Lucas McGarry. And Lucas, if you're DeSales, it's a big deficit right now, but you can't lose hope. How do you got to get things going on offense? Can't be all at once with huge chunks, but it's got to come quickly.
Just keep your players motivated. Try and keep them engaged and just do your best to keep them into this game, because what I'm seeing right now is just dejected looks from all of these players. And yes, they're down 33 points. That's a lot. But you still got 10 minutes left. You can chip away into a lead like that. And I really feel like just take better shots. They're now 10 for 42 from the field, a 23% total. I really just feel like they're not taking good shots. They're not being productive on offense. They're sloppy. They're playing lazy. And I think that their top players aren't playing to the way they need to, and I really feel like that's a big issue, because if your top players aren't performing, if you don't have anyone to step up, it's going to be a rough game for you.
As Williams come in with a fair amount of NCAA tournament experience. This team has been in the tournament the last 2 years. They went on a deep Sweet 16 run a couple of years ago, and they were knocked out in the round of 32 last year. But a lot of these guys have played in these games. Cole Prowett-Smith, the leading scorer today for Williams. He's got 14 with 7 rebounds and 3 assists today. His NCAA tournament average, 13 points per game, 4.4 rebounds per game, and 2.4 assists per game. Just a solid stat line, a solid player. And he lives in these big moments as Alex Lee gets a bucket there. But Williams, especially in this game, just showing their experience. As Gibbs, Atkinson misses the three. As Boylan's going to come back in. He'll check in for Holmquist.
I feel like DeSales just hasn't been lucky. Nothing is falling for them. Some of the shots they're taking are better than others, but even when they're taking fine shots, it's just nothing's falling. And on the other side, everything is falling for Williams. 7 for 11 from 3 in this second half. Just so hot to start.
Ball tipped away. On the fast break, Boylan finds Barnes, back to Boylan. Boylan in the lane, can't finish. A foul on the floor. It's going to go on Dinkins. That's going to be his first personal. And it's going to be baseline out of bounds for DeSales. A lot of these players for Williams have been on those teams that have gone on runs, especially their top man, Nate Caron. Mentioned earlier, NESCAC first team earlier this week. But he's had a solid run in the NCAA tournament. All of these guys have played in those 5 games. Nate Caron averaging 12 points per game, 7.4 rebounds per game, along with 1.8 assists per game.
Yeah, these guys just live for the tournament. They've all been playing with each other for so long now, and honestly, I think a big part of this is that veteran experience that Williams have. They know the big games matter, and they know how important every single time they play is. It's one and done. If you lose, you're out. And they all just seem to get that more than DeSales does. They all know that they need to play their hardest every single game. There is no sandbagging. There is no, not trying to wait for the bigger games. You need to play your hardest every single game, because it can just be your last, just like that.
A lot of these Williams players, careers going to end after this season. Same with DeSales. A lot of their top players. As Caron on the inside, and a great post move once again from Nate Caron. Caron up to 9. 64-27. Williams with the advantage. And a foul
called on DeSales here. As some substitutions, Hansen will come in.
Bit of a questionable shot attempt there by Elijah, really trying to take on the much taller than him, Nate Karen, who just is really known for his defense. He's been a defensive monster in the paint all game, so a bit of a questionable choice going into the paint against him.
As Cooley finds Brandon Arnold, and then Cooley gets it back. Stoddard, the three-pointer! He is automatic from beyond the arc. 4 for 8 in today's game. A lights-out three-point shooter. Only averaging 7 a game this season. He's got 13 today. Eberle. Atkinson from deep. And the drought has been broken for DeSales. But only hit one of the last 16 from beyond the arc. Finally get that one to go. The foul on the defensive end for DeSales. The substitution, Dan Lee, going to come back in. Alex Lee going to check out. Cooley. Looking for Stoddard, tipped away by Boylan. 8:01 on the clock. Here's Hansen with a good move, but he can't finish. Good defense by Bowen. Barnes. Bowen, the three, and he sinks it. There's a foul called on Barnes. That's going to be number 2 on him.
DeSales showing a little bit of life here. They're not going down without a fight. Obviously, 33-point deficit, clock's ticking down. It gets harder and harder, but they're showing life. They're still playing their hearts out, and there's not much you can do more you can ask of that out of a coach than that. They're trying very hard, and I really think they're playing well.
Here's another word from the NCAA.
To them, the whole world looks like an opportunity, one to be seized, built upon, and made better for their sport and the people around it. To student athletes, every opportunity is a chance to change what could be and show the world what opportunity can do.
Welcome back inside Maxfield Gymnasium. Zach Malum and Lucas McGarry, Madeline Cummings here on the shores of Lake Ontario. Williams taking on DeSales 66-33. Williams with the lead. And Williams have been dominant in this second half, 36-12. They're outscoring DeSales. The first of 2 games today in the round of 64. In Oswego, New York, as Oswego State, the hosts, will take on Babson. That one will start at 6 o'clock. As Cole Prowett-Smith Stoddard cannot hit off the backboard. Ball moved up to Barnes. Atkinson. Atkinson from deep. And he gets going. As DeSales getting the three-point ball to start going. It's been a struggle all day for them. A foul called here. Atkinson bumped into Hansen. And Williams are going to be in the bonus as the 7th team foul on DeSales. As Hansen hits the first. Hansen, 16 appearances this season. He's an 83% free throw shooter. A real presence he is inside. As has 1 block today. He's had a couple games with 2 or more blocks this season. Barnes can't find Eberle. Just has not been the day for DeSales as Prowett-Smith can't hit the 3. Eberle really struggling in this one, the leading scorer for DeSales. 1 for 4 on the day, just 2 points. He made the Mac Freedom first team earlier this week.
Yeah, I really feel like that's been one of DeSales' biggest problems is just Eberle has been silent. 2 points on this whole game, and he's only taken 4 shots. He just hasn't really been a big part of this game. And in such a game that matters so much, you really need your star players to shine, and he just has not done anything to help.
As Lee can't hit that one. 68-36. Williams with an advantage. Gibbs from deep. That one's no good. Prowett-Smith looking for options. Finds Alex Lee. Pull up from the elbow. And it doesn't fall. Barnes can't hit that one. And both teams have cooled down just a bit from the field. DeSales on a 9-2 run in the last 3 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, DeSales, they're showing the life. They're showing that they're still here. They haven't given up yet. But it's tough. They got 5:30 left. They're down 32 points. There's not really that much you can do besides just keep playing hard and just do the best you can.
Prowett-Smith with it. To Karen. Dinkins turned it over. Atkinson takes it away. Here's Barnes. Atkinson from deep. Tough shot there, and he knocks it down.
Heat check for Atkinson. Now 3 for 3 on his last 3-point shots.
Lee. Hansen couldn't keep a hold of it. Gibbs to Atkinson, step back. Cannot hit that one. A good rebound by Boylan, but he can't finish. Hansen. Back up to Prowett-Smith. Karen from deep. That's no good. Another offensive rebound as Prowett-Smith saves it. Alex Lee in the lane, can't hit. And Karen's right there to clean it up as he's up to 11 on the evening. Just continuing to dominate in games in the NCAA tournament, as he's got 4 blocks on the day as well. As we're going to send it down to our sideline reporter, Madeline Cummings. Madeline, what do you got for us?
Thanks, guys. Right now, Williams is up by nearly 40 points. Looking at their average, they usually score a total of 65.5 points per game, and right now they've already surpassed that with 70 points. DeSales, on the other hand, usually scores around 77 points per game, and right now they are only at 39. Overall, this is looking like a high-scoring game for Williams. Zach, Lucas, back to you guys.
Thank you very much, Madeline. Great stuff there. A 70-39 Williams lead. The NCAA Division III men's basketball tournament here in Oswego, New York. Max Zeal Gymnasium, the site. As Williams with a 70-39 lead with 3:45 left to go in this one. As a lot of these players, some of them seniors, could be the end of their careers here in basketball. And we see a lot of them on the floor right now, especially for DeSales, Mason Barnes, as well as Christian Gilden.
So yeah, it might be their last game this season. You never know. It's just like all these tournament games are win and you move on, lose, you're out. So some of these seniors, this might be their last game being played. And I think that Scott Covell is putting them in, giving them their flowers, putting them in, letting them play. But I really feel like the Williams seniors showed out because they don't want to be done playing.
Barnes inbounds to Atkinson, gets it back to Barnes. Barnes gets the handoff. As Gibbs in the lane, and he's able to finish. Last time out in the MAC Freedom Championship, Caleb Gibbs had 10 points, 19 rebounds. As a three goes down for Hansen. Caleb Gibbs, 7.7 rebounds today for DeSales. Barnes looking to get going, and it just has not been the day for Mason Barnes. Now 0 for 8 from the field, just 2 points. A big factor for DeSales.
I feel like that's been the case with a lot of these DeSales players. Is they're not here. They're taking bad shots. They're not making any shots. Like we already talked about with Eberle, only 4 shots so far, and then Barnes 0 for 8 on the day, 0 for 6 from 3. Just not good shots being taken by this whole team, really. And I think that they were outplayed by Williams. They didn't expect Williams to come in with this fantastic defense, the great pressure that Williams put on every single possession. There was no break. There was no not trying. Every possession they were playing hard defense, and it worked, and they outplayed DeSales, and I really think Williams earned this one.
Hudson Hansen gets a standing ovation. Tyler Van Gorp gets his first minutes of today's game. As Gibbs from deep, and he sinks it. 75-44. I talked about Mason Barnes earlier in this one. Just struggling from the field, but doing a lot of things elsewhere. 5 rebounds, 6 assists today, 3 steals as well. He's now had 12 games this season with 6 or more assists. A great passer, one of the best in Division III. There's an opportunity inside. Van Gorp gets a bucket. Minute 45 left in this one. Williams 77-44. Atkinson gets that one to go for the and one.
I love that DeSales still playing like they're fighting for a win. They're still fighting. They're still putting every single breath of effort into this game. And not the way they wanted to play. They didn't expect Williams to come out like this. And just a tough way for DeSales to end, but nothing to be ashamed of. They made it this far. Not a lot of teams make it here. You only got 64 total, and I really think that they should be proud with the accomplishment of making it, but next year, just a rebuilding year.
We saw just a moment ago a nice ovation from Mason Barnes, the senior from Pottsville, Pennsylvania. His final year here at DeSales. A rough way to go out, but a great career definitely for him. As the three does not go, Dickens can't hit it for Williams. Just over 1 minute remaining in this first round of 64 matchup. Golden can't hit it. Down low, a couple bodies on the floor. It's gonna be a foul on Van Gort, his first personal. And DeSales are in the bonus.
I think Oswego and Babson are both looking at this game and going, what do we need to do to deal with this Williams defense? Because they have been just lights out, and it's expected because that's how they've been playing all year long. They're just one of the best defensive teams in the whole country. So this is a game, it's expected like this. The offensive production by them, not expected, but they played phenomenal on defense. And I think both Oswego and Babson, whoever comes out of that with the win, is going to have to take a real deep look at their offense and what they can do to deal with this Williams defense.
Of those two teams, Oswego and Babson, Oswego with the advantage in points per game, 84 points per game. Babson 69 points per game. So that will be the second matchup here at Max Eel Gym today. That one starting at 6 o'clock. As Dan Lee, one more from deep, doesn't go. Cooley, Dickens from deep, that's no good. And flying out of bounds. Shot clock turned off, 29 seconds to go. One final possession here for DeSales. As Holmquist. Chikowski goes in.
Nice little jelly finish right there. It was up and over. It's a very clean play right there. Great shot.
As Williams gonna dribble it out with Dinkins. And Williams College, the East, keep on dancing. They're on to the round of 32, a 77-51 win over DeSales today. And it was just all Williams in the second half, 47-30. They outscore Williams. Just unbelievable stuff from them.
Yeah, no, they played just, I feel like a broken record here. They played so well on defense. They did everything that they needed to do. They looked so good, and they just completely shut DeSales down. DeSales, offensive team, one of the best offensive teams in the country. They're so dominant. And for Williams to just come in here and just completely shut them down is a real momentum gainer going into tomorrow. Now they get to watch Oswego and Babson play, and they get to build a strategy of what they want to do against both of these teams. Excuse me. And I really think that Williams just has everything to be proud of.
As Williams fans give their players a standing ovation. So we're going to send it down now to our sideline reporter, Madeline Cummings. One more time. Madeline, what do you got for us?
Thanks, guys. So even though Williams wiped the competition today, I got to watch the game down by the court, and there was just so much energy from the fans. I counted about 130 people here for both teams. There was a lot of clapping, a lot of cheering, a lot of purple for Williams, and overall it was just such a fun game to be a part of, especially when both teams had to travel over 4 hours to be here. It was really exciting to see all of the support down here. Zach, Lucas, back to you guys.
Thank you, Madeline. Great stuff there. Zach Malamud, Lucas McGarry, Madeline Cummings. Stay tuned as we're going to have the guys in the studio with another pregame show. We'll get you ready for Oswego State, the host, taking on Babson College. Zach Mellon and Lucas Bergari, Madeline Cummings will be on the call here at Max Zeal, but stay tuned as Williams move on to the round of 32, a big time 77-51 win over DeSales today.
Welcome back to Major Discussions.
Did you know dragging chains can spark a wildfire?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move. So I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Hey there, I'm Al Roker, class of 76. Yes, way back in 76. Back when the earth was cooling. You're watching WTOP. Hey there, I'm Al Roker, class of 76. Yes, way back in 76. Back when the earth was cooling. You're watching WTOP.
The Kinda Late Show with Chloe and Anna. Like licorice, Twizzlers, absolutely nasty. The thought of turkey is just nauseating.
I think you're wrong, is what I think.
You think I'm wrong a lot of times.
I do think you're wrong a lot.
When you look at the number of disasters in the U.S., chances are every area will deal with some kind of emergency in the next decade. And between school, sports, and social lives, chances are you won't be with your kids when it happens. Will they know what to do? Ready.gov/kids has the educational tools and information to make the conversation easy. When the time comes, chances are they'll feel prepared, not scared. So talk with your family today.
Put the keys down, Kevin.
But I'm gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
I guess I have really been looking for love in this dating app. Yep, I'm definitely gonna call a ride home.
And welcome back here into the Marano Campus Center on the Oswego State campus as the Williams Eafs wins 77-51 over to the DeSales Bulldogs. I'm Alex Brooks, Kenny Gerard, Mike Neckers to give you guys coverage of this post-game show. And guys, just want to get your opening thoughts. I mean, obviously we saw a lot of shots. We saw a lot of success from Williams, but we've talked about the defense. We talked about it all day for Williams, and they were able to step up in a big way today in a do or die.
Well, as the great Pillsbury Doughboy once said, nothing says lovin' like something from the oven, and that East defense was helping cook up the W for them today. The East on defense were absolutely locked down, not allowing many threes to fly, and DeSales up for that first 13 minutes, only getting 2 total points in the NCAA tournament. A shocking start for the Bulldogs.
Absolutely, and the Bulldogs had a very hard time shooting from the floor today. They went 8 for 30 from 3 and 18 for 60 from the floor, so really bad shot percentage overall today, and I think that goes down to shot selection. You look at the shots that they took, and they just weren't good shots.
Yeah, Kenny, you look at the three-point percentage and from the field, 50 to 30 in favor of Williams, and then 40 to 26 in favor of Williams, 26 for DeSales. That is not something that you want to see coming into this NCAA game where, as we mentioned, do or die game. And obviously now DeSales, they're going to go home, and you were supposed to show up for this game. It just wasn't their night tonight.
No, and you saw the East really put the muzzle on the Bulldogs there from beyond the arc, only getting a 26.7%, as you said. A huge differential, 50% from the field. That's how you win these playoff games in March Madness. And that right there, guys, is DeSales' lowest scoring game of the entire season.
Jeez, not a good way to go out.
Yeah, it's definitely not a good way to go out. Williams really showing up to play today. I mean, from the pretty much tip-off from the first half into the second half, they played a complete game. So obviously Williams able to move on to the round of 32 tomorrow. But we'll take a look at some highlights of the Bulldogs, the DeSales Bulldogs. It wasn't all bad. They were able to kind of get a little bit momentum going into the end of the second half, but it was a little too late for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, as the saying goes, a little too late there for the Bulldogs. But you see now, the number one three-point defense in the entire country in Division III basketball was actually getting broken down a little bit here, and you see some of the guys starting to scramble late in. Maybe it's because they put in some of the guys that they wouldn't consider their hot defensive players, but regardless, that team was not playing their best in that late second half, but it really didn't matter. Securing a 40-point advantage going into that 10-minute mark, really just, it was sealed for the East from that point on, Mike.
Absolutely, and we see these threes going up left and right. Some nice moves in the paint to get some points for the Bulldogs, but just, again, too little, too late. You can only do so much when you've got 10 minutes left on the clock and you're down by almost 40 points.
Yeah, and Kenny, I'll just kind of ask you that question. I know you were kind of breaking it down there for the highlights, but really, what was one thing that you saw from the Bulldogs tonight that really just didn't really go their way, really went wrong, and something that the East kind of took advantage of?
They shut down the off-ball movement. There's no question at all. I mean, you saw when I did my ball talk earlier, we were talking a little bit about how they were really making the zone move around. When they had someone come down to the edge, they'd have someone move up, and they had a defender there and ready to go. And then you just didn't really see it all the second half. In the first half, it was there a little bit, and it was something I had said earlier they had to capitalize on to really take away the game, and they just didn't do it. You just didn't see any off-ball movement. They're shutting down all of their passing lanes. Their zone was working flawlessly for the East, and that's why the number 9 defense came in and did exactly what they wanted to do. We said it earlier in predictions. I took the East, and I expected a defensive game, but I didn't expect that much of a defensive shutdown.
Absolutely, and I think the Eves sort of forced the Bulldogs to take long possessions, going right to the end of the shot clock, and then force bad shots because there were no open shots on the floor anywhere for them to take.
Well, enough about the Bulldogs. We're going to move over to the Williams Eves. They were victorious tonight, winning 77-51. So we'll look at the highlights of their game for this first match of the NCAA tournament. And I mean, guys, the Eves were able to do it much on defense, but they were really lighting it up from the three. They were heating up. They were like a California pizza oven out there, able to really do well from the arc and really doing a lot good with their shot selection, Kenny.
Yeah, absolutely. They were taking the smart shots later on to the game, as you saw. Starting to figure out the DeSales defense. They broke it down, finding the open man, and their off-ball movement now, total opposite to DeSales. You saw them making the open shots. Top of the key there. Bang. He lets it drop. You're just seeing, look at this, moving around, letting the defenders crash. When they crash down low, you're going to leave the man open for the corner three. It works out every single time for Williams and for many other schools. But if you just watch it here, Mike, and watch the defense break down Williams. Excellent work on offense getting the ball around.
Absolutely, and like Gilgamesh, it truly was a dominant performance from outside the arc. They went 12 for 30 from three-point. That's 36 points out there just from beyond the arc.
Yeah, and now going into this, obviously Williams has punched their ticket to the round of 32, Now for Oswego and Babson, they only want to focus on this game, obviously. But going into next game, this is going to be their opponent if one of them wins. What is kind of the scariest aspect? What is something from the Williams, what they showed today, that they can look at for tomorrow, Kenny?
Well, I mean, I feel like a broken record, but I'm just going to say it anyway. The three-point defense. I mean, how do you not mention it? If you watch the game, you were going to see the three-point defense was incredible. They were shutting down everything. We were talking about DeSales crashing down low. You don't see that with Williams. They're everywhere on the floor. Their zone works perfectly, and they work perfectly together. Yeah, 1 for 16 from beyond the arc for DeSales. I mean, that three-point defense would scare me if I was any team. For Oswego or Babson, that's something you have to look at. Both of those teams pretty good from beyond the arc for the year. Really going to have to put it to the test for the next game.
Absolutely, and I think another thing we saw today that we weren't necessarily expecting was how hot the Eafs got out there. And I think if the Eafs can do that again tomorrow, whether it be against Oswego or Babson, I think whatever team is playing them is going to have a really tough time stopping them.
Yeah, really tough time, and I mean, obviously this is the March Madness, this is the D3 tournament, so the top teams are here for a reason. So Williams was able to show out and really play their brand of basketball today, but obviously we have a game coming up in just a little bit at 6 o'clock tip-off between the Babson Beavers and the Oswego State Lakers in the Max Seal Gymnasium. So guys, just kind of your initial thoughts about that game, and what are you kind of seeing from that game?
It's going to be a big battle. I mean, Oswego State 25-2 on the year, and the Beavers, who were hurt for a majority of the year, 15-13 to end. And if you guys are good at math, I'm not, but I kind of am. 13-13 to go into the playoffs and take the 2 wins to win their conference. 13-13 going into the playoffs. I wouldn't say it's quite a Cinderella run, but it's pretty close.
Absolutely, and they didn't have a single home game in those playoffs either, so they're playing on the road and getting out of there with those big wins.
Yeah, so a really dominated team in the conference versus the Cinderella story. A lot of different storylines. I mean, obviously, it is March Madness here, and we're very excited, but that is going to do it for post-game coverage of Game 1. Williams takes it 77-51, but don't go anywhere because we'll have the Oswego State Lakers versus the Babson Beavers in Game 2 coverage of this NCAA basketball tournament, For myself, Alex Brooks, Kenny Gerard, Mike Neckers, we'll see you in just a little bit.